Am I live by?
I'm here.
There it is.
Fumbling around this morning.
What's up, buddy?
Woo. Good morning, Dad.
Good morning, Dad.
Does it feel weird to say that? Does it feel weird to say good morning, Dad? Because we're dads.
Sort of.
That's how it goes.
You're right. You're right. It shouldn't feel weird.
One, I'm really unshaven, and that's okay. Two, I talked with Dom yesterday on the phone, and I forgot how nice it is to have a conversation not on video that's recorded, just going back and forth. What a different feeling.
Yeah, for sure it is.
It really is. More on the couch over there. We got Brofit, we got Craig, we got Dylan. Guys, thanks so much for being here. I appreciate it. We got babies all over the place. We got a baby Courage. We got a baby Paul. Is that what we're calling it?
Baby Paul.
Baby Paul. So
good old baby Paul. He dropped his last name.
We got K-Save over here. Oh, we got Jason. We got K-Save. We got, man, what epic dads we got going on. I'm going to set up this branding over here. You know what happens? I'm over in Manhattan working through, oh, I think you were doing it. Good stuff. Working through some of these things. The last time I had Robbie on here, so I had that kind of stuck in there. So we're all good. Casey, just thinking about you. I was taking pictures, getting ready for this yard sale on Saturday. We had some Kind Warrior stuff. We had some Hype Horse stuff. So always thinking about you. It should be fun. What we got going on? Let's start with some gratitude. Dom, what do you got for gratitude?
I got to get home early enough. I mean, it wasn't really that early, but barely early enough yesterday. And at the last second, as I was not quite turning onto the place where I go to get to our house, but there's this park right before our house. And at the last second, out of the corner of my eye, I saw some kids playing tennis, and I was like, "Oh yeah, my daughter has tennis practice right now." So I pulled over real quick and ran out the car. So I got to see her play the last 30 minutes of her tennis lesson, and then my wife was sitting there, so we got to talk and catch up. And our son was playing on the playground by himself not by himself, but with other kids, unsupervised by my wife, and then unsupervised by myself. And it was cool. There was no problems. He was fine. She did good at her lesson. My wife and I had a chance to talk. It was just a very cool moment. So that was something I was grateful for.
Do you ever feel like you have a different energy about you when you are back home on Thursdays and you're checking in with everything on Friday? Here, when we talk.
I don't know. Do I?
I feel so. I feel like I want to say there's almost this there's this I don't know how to wrap it up, but I would say there's this completeness. Maybe it's because you mentioned having these dates with your wife, which I think is pretty awesome. I think I brought it up before, and you've come in yeah, we do it sometimes, but it sounds like you just do it. You do it more often than I know that my wife and I do it. So I just always feel as if it's a really special thing for you to share that you are kind of with your wife and kind of having that time. It just always sounds so romantic and nice. I mean, you might not think that. I just want to let you know that that's the energy I feel from you.
Yeah. Today I think we're gonna skip the formal date while the kids are in school, because we are having friends over for a Halloween party. So we are going to be finally putting the front lawn decorations up and cleaning the house for the party. So our date will be a little different today. It'll be more of a clean and decorate date.
Well, that defines the date still. You guys are together. You're doing it. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I didn't realize Halloween things are happening this weekend, by the way. I wasn't ready. My wife was. I was not ready. So I think I got to pull together a costume.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I actually gotta circle back with her and say, hey, did we define that costumes were being worn? Because yeah, we don't We don't have any real costumes. My son's in a Marvel character, and I have like an old Captain America costume, so I might just throw that on.
Nice.
But it'll make me a little bit uncomfortable.
Is everyone else ready for Halloween? Everyone on the couch. Do you guys have a costume? Are you going to be a costume with your family, or what are your kids going to be? My girls are like fighting over who's going to be Red from this new movie, the sequel movie that came out. So that's like the popular thing at the moment.
Yeah. Yeah, like we normally will just put on like normally just a t-shirt, dude. Like I said, if my son is Spider-Man right now, I have a Spider-Man t-shirt, and that's like as far as I'll go. Usually. One year we all dressed up as inflatable dinosaurs. Have you seen those costumes?
Yeah.
So my wife got 5 of them. It was ridiculous. It's funny walking up the streets with 5 of those all as a family. But yeah, what's your gratitude today, bud? How are you feeling?
Feeling good. I got 2 bits of gratitude. One, I was something had pushed me to give you a call yesterday, but I feel like it was a good reminder of like how good it does feel to actually reach out and just have that conversation, because we obviously talked about a few things here or there. So it was definitely a nice thing to just kind of, go back and forth. And I know we kind of talked a little bit about some business stuff, but overall, I thought it was a good reminder, like just hop on the phone with people. I think it's also like one of those, like, if I call that person, am I going to bother them? And I feel like more times than not, I think both people kind of need each other. So I think it's a good thing. So anyway, thanks for picking up. The other one, I think just a push, if I can say that. A push recently. I had a client in yesterday who provided me a little bit of a unexpected like pep talk, which I thought was really cool. And I try not to get so excited about opportunities, because sometimes they don't kind of come to fruition and whatever else is going on. But it was a good reminder for me to maybe look at things differently, kind of the directions I'm going in with my business and everything else like that. So it was a really helpful thing, and kind of a push and a reminder, and like those conversations have to be had. I think it was another reminder as a different way of a push yesterday to try to be pushed to kind of get set up for this like yard sale thing, like the whole like Gary Vee thing, where he's kind of bringing up this social shopping. I've definitely struggled with some of these ideas. Like, is this something that's going to work for my business? Is this just for VeeFriends? Is this just for something else? But it's really just kind of stirred things up in my head, and it's really made me think about different things. It's pushed me to do it, and I wouldn't have done that and thought about those things if this opportunity, wasn't around. So it's just all this, like, there's a pot here, it's being stirred, and it's good. And I think it's a reminder for a lot of people, hopefully, reminder for me for next time too. It's like, if things are stale, you're feeling too comfortable, find something to kind of stir up your pot. Because, hopefully someone definitely will do that for you, but you got it yourself. So
yeah,
that's my untethered thought.
Yeah, jumping on the call is definitely a fun and powerful and unique, like different experience, like you're saying, than this. And so yeah, don't ever feel like you're bothering me. I mean, the truth is like, if I can make time for it, a call like that is usually better for me than mostly whatever else I am doing. So and you called it the perfect time, because I was literally starting my commute home, which is like a 2-hour drive by myself. So
yeah,
I'd love to schedule like 5 of those in a row, so I just can be talking to people while I'm driving home, instead of just driving and looking at traffic.
It's good.
Good morning, Jason.
Jason, I'm impressed you're wearing a hoodie from 2008. 8?
Yeah. I was also hoodie up this morning as well. I was in a hoodie up mood. Yeah, this is Ryan. I think this is the last mega transect we ran together.
Yeah. That was intense. Awesome. There's this run in Pennsylvania through the I say Catskills. Was it not the Catskills and the Appalachians? What is it?
I think it's just Appalachians in the back in our trail running chapter of our lives.
Yeah, I've definitely done a good amount of marathons, and I don't ever have to do any more, and I'm totally fine with that. And the more I look into it, the more unhealthy I actually see marathons end up being. Now, just because when you do so many of them, you beat your body up. But this one marathon, it was like a marathon through the mountains. But it wasn't the same thing as like an ultra would be. But it was one where like I could not walk after each one, and like I'd be hobbling. And because it was like it wasn't the uphills that got you, it was the downhills. It would just destroy your body. So the Mega Transect was in Lock Haven, Pennsylvania. Great run, but I think it was probably where Jason and I started to connect the most. I don't know if you would agree with that. I think we started to connect most over running in our older adult life.
That was like the first like adult thing that we started doing together.
Yeah.
Which was, I thought was really cool. And it ended up becoming a thing we did for a few years, and good memories. Good memories of transitioning into adult years for sure.
Yeah, that's awesome.
What do we have on connection over here? Remember VeeDads, health, mindset, connection? Are we connecting over here? K-Save, Nathan and I video chatted. Oh, it's awesome.
Yeah, and then K-Save was saying that him and Blue do it too.
Wait, who's Blue?
Blue Collar Crypto.
Oh, got it. Okay,
I
cool.
assume that's who that is.
Yeah, that's what I'm assuming too, I guess. All right. Good stuff. All right, Jason, what do you have for gratitude?
Did you say Nathan or Jason?
Nathan, what is your gratitude?
I dropped mine in the chat. We had a really good more for my daughter. We had a really good soccer game against the boys team yesterday. That was probably it wasn't even like a real game. It was a scrimmage.
Mm-hmm.
But it was the most challenge that they got this year. My daughter's team is like dominating this year. So it's like the kind of dominating where it's like, okay, you can only shoot with your left foot, or like 3 passes before you can take a shot. So that's been our entire season. And we lost our first scrimmage against them, and they were kind of upset. And then we won last night, and it was like a team where there was like 3 really good players, and they were kind of mouthy, and they kind of did some trash talk. It's like the worst combination. You know, it's like the games that I remember when I was her age just really pissed me off. So that was a really good reminder for me. It's like, yeah, you could trash talk back all you want, and you can throw shoulders if you want, but the best revenge is winning. And making them look at the scoreboard. I had to ref the game too, so I was like really trying to be super even in calling. I was almost not calling things on the other team because I didn't want to like look like I was favoring one over the other.
Yeah, isn't that kind of favoring the game anyway, though?
No.
Oh, okay.
I was very even-handed in my whistles.
Good job. A lot of your gratitude has been around soccer. I feel like it's really bringing out a lot of good stuff for you.
Yeah, it's been good. So it's kind of like my oldest daughter. She's like now in the stage where she's playing soccer because she likes it, not because it's something that we've told her that she might like and she should try.
Yeah,
it's like
I always love when Doggy pops in.
I didn't hear what you said.
Oh, I was just saying hi to one of our community members, Saki, over there. I'm here, I'm listening to you. I see we have a few people over here on X, My Daily Dads, watching on X. Thank you so much. We got 11 people, 12 people in here right now, which is awesome. We got one person over on Facebook checking out the live feed right now, and I feel like it might be Aunt Gail, so I'm just going to give a wave to Aunt Gail.
Hey, Gail. Hi. It's probably.
It might not be Aunt Gail. Who knows? I just know that she's.
If it is, she gets a wave.
Yeah. It's almost bedtime. I know, Aunt Gail. All right. So, yeah, no, awesome stuff about soccer. Love that. How'd the reading go today? How are you guys on the meditation?
I'm just reading it right now. I think it looks great to begin with. It's nice and short.
Walk us through it. Walk us through what your eyes are looking at, Jay.
So I did read it before. I think the basis is
do you ever have fear that like at this point in your life you're gonna like read out loud and realize that you've had dyslexia your whole life and you're like, wait a second?
I feel like I've just been called on in reading class to repeat what the teacher said, and I have not been listening at all. That's what I feel like at this moment. Yesterday was great. I thought that was an awesome reading. Basically, you're not making your life any easier. Not making your life. Actually, I don't even know if it says it. Maybe I made this point myself. I'm not making my life any easier by spoiling my kids to make their life any easier.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that's in the reading, but that's what I got from skimming it for 10 seconds.
Do you want to read a paragraph out loud so you can get connected with it?
I really don't like where this is going, Ryan. I feel like I'm in school and
I feel like your brother is trying to torture you a little bit here.
Class, second paragraph. Stay with us.
Do you know who Doug McMahon is?
I'll do the last paragraph first because that's what I've been told is the best way to cram for a book report if you haven't read the book. Don't spoil them, all things in moderation, even as you love them as much as humanly possible. It's a difficult balance, to be sure, but the stakes are too high to not get it right. Yeah, so kind of like what I said.
That was great. You get an A.
Good job, buddy.
You get an A. That was awesome.
But yeah, I guess I don't think we spoil our kids, but I do think that we. I thought of a good question as I was reading this. It's in what way do you think you spoil your kids? For you guys, question for you guys, or anybody on the couch. Like, for example, I think in one way we do spoil our kids is once in a while, like our parents never let us stay home if we were feeling sick. And my attitude is like, okay, if they're making enough of a stink, I know it's not the best thing to give into it, but sometimes you just got to hit the easy button for your own sake. I'd say that's one thing that we spoil our kids with.
Can you redefine what you spoil your kids with for me?
If they're having a day where they're feeling a little bit under the weather, but like, you know, that gray area where like maybe they can go to school and be fine after like half an hour.
Yeah, got it.
I'd say that's the one way that we maybe spoil our kids.
Is there a detriment to that? You feel? Have you seen a detriment to that?
It's a detriment for us because every time after that, it becomes easier for them to say, hey, I'm not feeling good. And this is only like maybe once a month. But it's like, you know how you set the habit and then you reinforce it by like just kind of letting it go. Does that make sense? Am I explaining that correctly?
Yeah, no, yeah. I wanted to make sure I was just getting it down for sure. No, that definitely makes sense. That's a good one. Just want to make sure we got Paul over here. Paul just had his baby. Well, his wife just had a baby. Paul was there for support. And amazing, man. Congratulations. We got a first-time dad in the chat right now. So that's
welcome to the club. Nice.
Yeah, man. That's awesome. We love you, buddy. And health, happiness, everything to mom and baby. Are you taking time not focusing on work searching, Paul? I hope so. Hope you having some of that time. That'll be good. Dom, I was thinking when Jason asked that question, I was thinking there probably is something I'm spoiling my kids with that I don't know. Do you feel like there's anything that maybe that could be happening? Like what? I'm just trying to think of that right now. Like we don't know that it's spoiling our kids, and so we're kind of blind to it. But is there something else that I'm thinking about?
That's my question. Is like, what do you think? Like Dom, do you think that there's anything that you spoil your kids with that maybe you don't realize you are?
No. Well, I mean, nothing that I've figured out in the last couple minutes while you guys have been talking, but I mean, I kind of feel like we do spoil them a little bit. They, in my opinion, you know, and especially if I compare to like my childhood, Not necessarily if I compare to other people or other kids that I know, but like they are a little spoiled when it comes to, like having too much, um, like food and stuff like that. Like they kind of just, they have a very like they just eat whatever they want whenever they want. Um, and then there is quite a bit of stuff that we do for them that, like I've said on here before, like we're transitioning out of doing everything for them. So we're working on all of it. But yeah, I think we've kind of gone a little overboard in the past years. We're just now trying to dial it back and course correct, or at least I am. Yeah, becoming more and more aware of it is what it is.
What's something that you feel like you have to course correct? Because I feel like we're gonna have to do that at some point too, but I'm not really sure what it is. I just kind of feel it. What's something that you feel like you have to correct?
Well, the biggest thing this week is like I think gonna be along the lines of like food and like water. Our middle child has been struggling in school, and in the last couple of days she's been like going to the health office and complaining of being like lightheaded and dizzy. But then like the first question is like, are you drinking water? Have you eaten anything? And it's like, yeah, I had some Fruit Loops for breakfast before school and that's it. And it's like 2 o'clock. So, my wife and I were talking about that last night, is just like, we got to get her into some sort of better routine of maybe a better meal before she leaves, because she's home and has access to like different things. Like I've talked about, like she loves making scrambled eggs. And that would be way better for her than a bag of Fruit Loops. Because what she says is like, she doesn't like anything that's available at the school lunch. And then we haven't found anything, well enough or nutritious enough to pack her for lunch. Like the one of the bigger problems, like this random big problem that we're having, is that she doesn't have any room in her backpack. Like with all the stuff she has to carry in her backpack, the thing is overstuffed. And so like she has to squeeze in a water bottle. So she stopped bringing a water bottle because she was tired of squeezing it in there. We did get her a new backpack. It comes tomorrow. So hopefully it's a bigger one and has a lot of space. But yeah, the middle school years, like the amount of stuff that these kids have to carry in their backpack, and even my high schooler, it just seems ridiculous.
Are you new to middle school as a parent?
No, I have a high schooler, so this is my second one. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a lot of what you said is kind of what we're going through as well, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, it's wild. And I think a lot of it has to do with like going back to spoiling, is like they're very picky eaters. So like I remember when I was in school, like I would just eat whatever was there. Yeah, it wasn't the greatest food, but it was something, and that was what you were supposed to do at lunch. So I ate food. I don't know if they have their phones or not. I can imagine they might. No, they're supposed to leave them in their backpack. So I don't know what's distracting her or what they're doing during that time frame, or if they can just do whatever they want to do. But yeah, food's definitely a thing right now.
Yeah, I feel that one.
I definitely agree with that. I just want to give a shout out. I think my younger brother's in the chat. I'm pretty sure he is. What's up, Kyle?
Kyle.
Man,
we got all three. The band's back together.
I definitely feel like I don't feel like we're over. I don't feel like we are spoiling. I feel like I'm not connecting with that right now, but I do connect with, because you guys said it too. And then I also know that, David, you said it too. I'm very aware, maybe I'm hyper aware of my oldest daughter, who I think is kind of following in some of the same footsteps that I was as a kid, that I don't think was understood by anyone, even myself, about textures and all that kind of stuff too. And I get so nervous that I'm so hyper aware that I'm like letting things kind of like run its course. I'm just trying to kind of like tiptoe around it and trying to make sure that she's figuring things out while I'm helping her a little bit. And I'm just like, and then I think what tells me maybe that moment is getting spoiled is because I think when it's, think my expectations become like so big, and then I'm setting expectations and I get upset when it didn't work out. I'm like, I think I'm doing well. I think I'm doing well. We're doing this. And then all of a sudden it blows up when it didn't really work out. And I feel as if we can be a little bit tougher on the like, okay, well, no, you need to, and this is my job, right? It's kind of, it's all about making sure that I keep offering, but like, we have to push a little bit harder for her to be trying new foods, whether it is some sort of neurodivergent type of thing with textures and temperatures and different flavors and whatnot. But I really want to make sure that like she has to know it's okay to be who you are, but there's also that point where you have to push you just for the health of your body, health of your brain, and all those kind of things too. So I don't know if that's spoiling. That's why I'm not so much connecting with it, but I feel like we just have to be a little bit like, it's the boundaries, it's setting them, it's making sure that we're pushing a little bit harder in some kind of areas, obviously without without it exploding in the face. So anyway, that's my thought. It must be somewhere else.
I don't think that's spoiling. I think you're just making sure she's aware of like things that she might have to think about differently than other kids. We go through that with Junie for sure. And that's one of our big challenges. Like Dom said, food. Our biggest challenge is having a kid who's like from all outward appearances really healthy. But like her diet is absolutely terrible. It's all white.
It's amazing what kids can survive on. I mean, I think who was I talking to recently? We're like, we just survived on Pop-Tarts and ramen. How much ramen did we end up eating as kids? My God, it was ramen all the time. I used to, sometimes I turned to cold hot dogs. It was cold hot dogs and ramen. That's what I would eat.
Yeah.
So
we have ramen in the house. We have a 20-pack for $2 in our pantry. And that's when we are done fighting, we just pull out the ramen.
Tom, was ramen a big thing in your family?
Oh yeah.
It was.
For sure. 100%. Ramen, Pop-Tarts, like I've told you, like all kinds of snacks. And so I'm living proof of like what happens when you live that all throughout your childhood and you never change, and then you grow up to be an adult and it starts to hit you, and then you raise your kids on that stuff. and then by the time you've got them all hooked on all that stuff, then you're like, oh wait, this is not good, I need to change my diet. And then it's freaking impossible, because so I've changed my diet, but my pantry is full of all those things. Like I have Pop-Tarts, I have ramen, like I have Goldfish and Cheetos and like fucking cans of chili, like you name it, it's in there. Like my childhood's in there. And I'm terrible there. I have a completely different shelf that has my food, and it's it's weird.
First of all, I want to give a shout out to Hot Pockets.
One of these days I'll do this live call from inside my pantry.
I feel like Hot Pockets were definitely something that we just burned our face with all the time. Although, yeah, they were great. Also, this is interesting. I didn't realize this, Brofit, that they would not accept ramen. I wonder if it's because it's a volume thing. Because I do know that a lot of food, like very established food pantries and food shelters, they do have some established rules around nutrition. And so I don't know if it's they won't accept ramen or the fact they get so much ramen. I mean, I know for some reason our pantry growing up always had wax beans. I don't know why. It always had wax. I never ate a wax bean, but we always had wax beans. And whenever we had canned dries, I'd always give them. And I'm wondering if someone's sitting there somewhere be like, why do we always have wax beans at these canned drives? But that was us. We did it. So I don't know if ramen and wax beans are allowed. But interesting. Ramen, dropping some cheese in there, though, was always kind of a elevated ramen, which is always pretty cool. Anyway.
I was not a fan of the cheese. But dropping meat into it, like now that I know what actual ramen is as an adult, like sometimes we have like steak laying around, I'll chop it up and pretend like I have a fancy ramen.
Oh wow, yeah, nice. Or stir an egg into it. Anyway, I feel like we are starting to get further away from the main point here. I I feel as if I'm going to pay a little bit of attention to see if I'm spoiling my kids in some sort of way. I don't think I am, but I may be blind to it. So I'm going to kind of look for a few things and see what I can do. Dom, are you going to do anything different with the snacks, you think?
I don't think so. We're just gonna have some more conversations about like healthy alternatives to what she can eat in the morning, or find some stuff that we can figure out how to pack for her for school. Like I said, once we get the new backpack, maybe there's some more space in it. I don't know. Like, yeah, don't know, man.
Got it. I think it's a tough conversation. I think sometimes those words are best given not by parents, but by, friends and whatever else. And, when they kind of see one of their friends maybe kind of doing that kind of thing. So
I think what we need is like, what a friend comes over to visit and like, oh, look, you're feeding your kid ramen for breakfast. Isn't that cute? Something that, gives you a hint of something you might have to change.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I always ask her. I tell her like, what do all your friends eat at school? Like, can you just ask your friends like what they eat, because maybe there's something we haven't thought of. So like, but they always come back with nothing, man. It's like they teleport, like, or time travel when it comes to the school day. They leave in the morning, they come back and they're like, nothing happened. I'm like, okay, you were there for 6 hours, but nothing happened. Got it.
I was thinking about that story that a mom shared. She was like, I keep asking my kid what they do at school, and they keep saying nothing. And then I went online, and the school posted a picture of my daughter holding an alligator. And so I thought it was a funny thing. It's like, yeah, I think that all kids are probably doing something exciting. They just don't think it is until we see it. Anyway, I want to have guys check in. I want to do a little bit of a discussion around how to kind of build out a few food options for kids. I think that would be so fun, how to build out maybe a lunch option for kids too. If we can do that, I think that'd be cool. I'm gonna be doing a live at some point talking about that. So please check in, keep an eye out for it. It's just giving me a little bit of a push, which I kind of started the whole conversation with, which is good. Anyway, guys, let's end it there. We are at time. We're trying to keep it about 30 minutes. So thanks to the couch for being here right now. Any last words, boys?
Oh man, have a good day.
Have an excellent day. Kyle, awesome for you to jump on with us finally. And good to see you guys' faces as well.
All right. Have a good morning. Take care.
See you guys later.
See ya.